It's Lisa from Been There, Got Out, and I am back from Colorado, back in Connecticut, New York, and I'm excited to welcome tonight's guest. It's Christelyn Karazin. She's the Pink Pill creator and author. There she is. Let me get her on here. Actually, we've had another conversation in her community about a couple of things. So, hey, welcome back from Greece.
Thank you. Thank you. It was beautiful. Wonderful.
That's awesome. So good to see you, and thanks for coming back on. So for the people that don't already know who you are, and first we need to thank Padita for introducing us,
Yes.
because we just met a couple months ago in person in California a
Yes.
few times in a row, which is really cool.
Yes.
But why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes.
Sorry, Christelyn, say that again.
I was saying shout out to Padita Jafari of Jafari Legal.
Yes, yes.
Make sure you guys
So
me later.
yeah. So Christelyn, introduce yourself to people who might not know you already.
It's Christelyn Karazin, and I am the author of Swirling: How to Date, Mate, and Relate, Mixing Race, Culture, and Creed. It's a book about interracial relationships from a Black woman's perspective. I'm also the creator of the Pink Pill, which are lifestyle courses specifically for women of color. I see some of my peeps showing up in the chat now. I see you. I have also recently launched a skincare line called Watered Body Care because I simply didn't have enough things already going on. So, yeah, that's me.
That's great. All right. So I know we're not going to talk about the body care thing yet, but let's talk about something that you referred to in our last conversation. And I thought, ooh, I love that name. What is a relationship refugee, and how does that relate to our world of domestic abuse and self-esteem and everything related to that?
So relationship refugees came from the fact that, and we actually talked about this briefly. Well, actually, the whole theme of our last conversation was about cultural narcissism. And so within the Black community, Black women specifically have a set of relationship challenges that force us to have to kind of look elsewhere, kind of see what else is out there. We have the lowest marriage rates. We have the highest divorce rates. We have the highest out of wedlock rate in out of all races. There's a lot of from an abuse side. There's a lot of abuse in relationships in terms of an imbalance in terms of the women outnumbering the men by the millions, which causes a certain type of unhealthy leverage for a lot of these relationships, because the men have all the power. So men already have power, but they have more power because we outnumber them by the millions. And so the term relationship refugees I coined because Black women, out of necessity, need to open up their options to other races of men, or they're going to be caught up, be basically held hostage by not all. So let me just put that out there, by some of the men in our community, because it benefits them for us to be held there, which is why I get a lot of pushback. Particularly from Black men, because I tell Black women to open up their dating options. So it is kind of a narcissistic thing, because it's, if you ask the question, how is it related to this community? Because one group is saying, we have all the power, we want to keep it, and how dare you go over there, because that takes my power away. And there's a lot of shaming, there's a lot of abusive language that is kind of hurled our way by men who are very upset by the Black women who are taking that leap to kind of go in a different direction.
Yeah, I just saw someone put the term war. They said we are war brides.
Yes. I mean, basically, when you think about refugee, you're coming into a community, right? And you may not have a lot of knowledge of this community. There are things that you're going to have to learn: how to navigate, how to get along, how to speak the language per se. And so part of my courses was to help Black women be able to go into these other spaces with confidence and prepare them, because we're sort of forced into this situation. And here's the thing that's very interesting. We aren't the only ones. Like, I thought Black women in America, we probably are the worst off for this. But I've had women from various backgrounds, Indian women, Pakistani women, who kind of are saying the same thing. Women of Middle Eastern descent. So a lot of us are relationship refugees based on sort of the oppressive nature of some of the men in our communities, and the mores that force us to behave in certain ways that don't benefit us.
Yeah, and what you just mentioned about groups of women in different cultures, it's not just the men, but it's almost the entire community.
Yes, yes.
Because
so they work together as a unit. They want to keep a cohesive unit, and so you have both men and women enforcing this behavior. You have the men enforcing, but you have the women, some women guiding on behalf of the men of the group to keep them in line. So it is an effort. Yes.
We talked a little bit about it. I don't remember if it was on our last interview here or in on your community when you interviewed me, but the ways that girls are raised differently, which
Yes.
kind of grooms them for certain unhealthy relationships.
Absolutely. So actually, I did a video about this on my YouTube channel. There was a woman who, just brief story, a woman who wrote into the Atlanta Black Star and said, should I finally tell my daughter that I favor my son? There is a saying in the Black community that mothers raise their daughters and love their sons. And so in the way in which we are taught as young Black girls and women to kind of be both the men and the women, like, we are not going to be rescued. We can't count on, in the same way, whether through osmosis or not. Like, you're in Connecticut. My ex-husband is from Connecticut. You guys live very close to each other. And one thing about marrying into that family was observing how his mother and his sister were cultivated to find partners that were that were going to be providers and to be responsible and that sort of thing. In our community, we're told to, and you guys go to school, yes, to get the education and the career, but it's also, you get your Mrs. degree. Black women are not that. We don't, what? You go to school, get your education, because your education is your husband. And so because education and career are your husband, you can't count on that in this community, it puts a different kind of dynamic where it feels like there's more responsibility on the women. And you can see that pronounced through the fact that we're raising children by ourselves. We're doing everything ourselves. We're exhausted. We're angry. And you see the pushback in recent generations with soft life and Black girl luxury, because they're trying to abandon those things. They're trying to abandon those ways of thinking that their mothers imparted on them, that it's struggle. You're supposed to struggle. This is what your lot in life is. And so younger generations are saying, I don't want to have any part of that. And so you are seeing some changes.
Yeah, I wanted to note that someone just earlier mentioned in the comments that girls are groomed for servitude.
Yes. And we're supposed, and especially my generation. So I'm Gen X, and we were kind of cultivated to reach back. So you go and get yours. We were kind of the first generation beneficiaries of all of the wins from the civil rights movement. And so it was go to school, get your education, but come back, bring it back here, and reach down and build the man up. There was never any space for us to be built up ourselves. We have to do everything. It doesn't leave room for us to actually enjoy some comfort in being women.
Yeah, so let's get into what you mentioned that I think a lot of people might not understand or have ever heard the term. You said the soft life or black girl
Yeah.
luxury.
Hmm.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So soft life, black girl luxury. Either you. Oh my goodness. Hi, Al. Let's see what I hear. Soft life, black girl luxury is basically, I am going to be educated. I am going to have a career, but I'm also going to leave myself open to be taken care of. I'm not going to procreate or mate with somebody who is not on my level. I am not going to apologize because I want to travel. I want to have fun. I want to be treated like a lady. I want to be courted. These are all things that in my generation, it was like, who do you think you are? So that's the pushback, because these women are maturing. They're saying, absolutely not. I'm not going to be, the baby mama. I'm not going to be chasing after men who don't want me. I'm not going to be begging them if they don't want me. I'm going to find the best man for the job, regardless of what race, and I'm going to get a little bit of the benefits that I see other women of other groups enjoying. So that's hashtag soft life, hashtag black girl luxury.
So how do you think it's affected people involved with this? Because you gave me an awful story. Remember the last time we talked of someone, but she was a lot younger than the man that she got involved with. I don't know if you want to share that story
It's
again. I think that was when I was
been a
talking to
while.
you.
Take refresh. There's so many, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
What story
So
are you referring to?
so it was something about a black girl who married a white man and she posted
Oh,
all over TikTok. Remember that?
yes. Oh my God. Okay. It's not, it's okay. So here's how the message can go wrong. As Black women exploring their dating options, coming into different communities as relationship refugees, it can leave us vulnerable to opportunistic men in other communities. So there was one young Black woman in particular that followed me, but heard something that I didn't say. She was interpreting it in a certain way. She was under the impression that I was saying, Black women, just get with white guys. Just get with any white guy. Any white guy is going to be better than any Black guy. That's not true. That's absolutely, that was what she got. That's how she processed the information. And so she married a white man who was a doctor. In his previous marriages, this was his third marriage. The other two marriages to white women lasted, I think one was 2 years and the other one was 9 months. This is not a good, this is not a good pick for a man, regardless of race. But he had knowledge. So this is how you can get in trouble, because we're out here publicly trying to reach out to women, trying to do, but people are listening. You cannot control who listens. And so if you see someone who says, okay, she comes from this community, I know that the men over there aren't doing what they're supposed to do. So I'm going to offer this chance to save her, to give her this luxury lifestyle. I'm a doctor. I'm gonna, she's not gonna have to want for anything. I had to help her. It was so bad. This man was so abusive. I had to secretly help her escape this man, who turned out to be a horrible person. So it really does keep us vulnerable, because we have these conversations publicly, that other people are listening and other people can see what's going on, and then that leaves an opening for men of other communities who don't mean us well to do harm to us.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about the power dynamic, and as you were talking when we first at the beginning of this interview, I was thinking there's like a catch 22 for Black women in particular.
It really is. I mean, it's one of those things where you damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. There's dangers everywhere. We do have to be more vigilant. We do have to vet more. We can't kind of go through life just living, like we have to be constantly vigilant. But that's just that is the nature of oh goodness. There's somebody in your chat. That's very offensive. But the thing is that, so I'm going to use him as an example, if you don't mind, Lisa.
No, I don't mind.
So this person, I'm not going to give his name because it's an offensive name, but he says most bed wenches get killed. So bed wench is the name that Black men like him call Black women who date and marry interracially. These are the men of the community that I said are disillusioned about Black women exploring their options. They want to scare you into saying, well, you think you got it bad over here, you're going to have it worse, or you might as well stay where you are. So it's men like that I'm talking about. Wow. And he's standing 10 toes down on it because he says it's true.
Yeah.
So you're seeing in real time, Lisa, what we deal with.
Yeah.
Unless you saw it. So there it is.
Yep. I know. And that's the theme of people in these types of situations, like the domestic abuse community, is most people wouldn't believe it unless they could see it or experience it themselves.
The fact of the matter is that Black women and girls are killed every 4.5 hours, and 98% are done by members of their own community, primarily their romantic partners, and primarily the romantic partners of Black women are Black men. So, sir, it's not bed wenches being killed by white men. It's you. It's men like you that are out here killing Black girls and women. So stop. Stop lying in front of the white people, okay? Just stop it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Somebody in an earlier comment said that so Black women get these awesome education, like our generation, because I'm Gen X too, to get this great education and then to come back and basically take care of the entire family by themselves. You see that a lot too, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's expected. I mean, if you're supposed to go out and get yours and then come back and pour back into the community. And the problem is there's nothing wrong with helping your family, helping people, grow up, and encouraging people in your community, people you care about, coaching. It's what I do. But it's the expectation and the draining until draining you to the point where you have nothing left for yourself. And that's what a lot of Black women have been, where they pour so much into other people, they're depleted. But
I mean,
I'm really glad that you guys are seeing this, because this is what we deal with. You wouldn't believe, people think I'm full of it, but it's right there.
I know. It's like, Anyway, let's not give any more attention to it. So let's see. Another thing that we talked about was the difference between like white women and Black women, and why women end up in certain toxic relationships. You said sometimes it's almost like, what are the different values being taught? Because you said that white women earn and Black women earn similar amounts. So it's not like a socioeconomic thing, and yet the relationships that different communities choose to get into are very different.
Yes. So the Brookings Institute did a study about Black poverty, and it was called Black Poverty. It's all about the men. So the study showed that Black women, in terms of career, are comparable in terms of earnings with white men, but we have a net worth of like $5, not because we're not getting those opportunities, but it's who we choose as mates. Because again, it goes back to what I said. We are conditioned to reach down and pull up. And that's exhausting. You know how hard it is to just think about it. If you're standing on a chair, and if a person is standing on a chair, how easy is it to pull them down? Easy.
Right.
How hard is it to pick them back up and put them back on the chair?
Yeah.
Difficult.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There you have
I was going to say, so is there anything that you think might work that can help people, especially Black women?
Well, I think that, my whole platform is about helping Black women escape that. First and foremost, you are not put on this earth just to be in service to other people. You are not obliged to a community, especially if the community does not cherish and value you. You are a free agent, and you are able to roam about the building freely. And that these opportunities are there. What I try to tell Black women, because a lot of us do this, we will literally put ourselves in a cage, holding the key, walk into the cage, close the door, lock it from the inside, and swallow the key. A lot of times we've been so conditioned that we put these restraints on ourselves, that we say we can't go over here, we can't do this person doesn't like us, this person won't accept us, we don't, and we're doing it because it's the key to all of it is overcoming the fear, of what the community has taught you, the fear of being an imposter, the fear that no one will accept you. What I tell Black women is, you be the distinction. If you walk into a room and you're the only Black woman, don't look at that as a liability. Look at that as an opportunity and an advantage to be the distinction. Don't go in feeling like you have to be a beggar. You go in owning it. And that's what I teach.
Where can people find you or communities like you that really build them up instead of knocking them off the chair?
Well, it's very interesting that you say that. So I haven't, people can follow me here on Instagram, but those who know me, I have a channel called The Pink Pill. It's on YouTube. And I also have a private group called the Pink Pill Underground, where I get really intensive in the coaching, where we have these private conversations because, quite frankly, what you see happen in this exchange, we want to try to avoid, because we want to elevate. We don't want to be derailed from the conversation. So in that, we talk about everything, not just relationships. We talk about businesses, finances, self-protection, travel. We just went on a trip to Greece, 15 of us. So we're all about expanding our entire experience, not just our dating options. We're expanding the whole world.
So, Christelyn, what about men in general? How can men help support your community?
Oh, that's a really good question. I've been very delighted that men of other races see us and support and have respect for the fact that we are so resilient. I don't like using the word strong Black woman. I hate that word, actually grates on me. But we are resilient. We do know how to make lemonade from lemons. And we are, and men of other communities are seeing that and are trying to give opportunities. I'll give, for example, not just men, but organizations like Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs pledged, I don't know, $10 billion or something for Black female businesses to cultivate, to help them cultivate. So other communities are seeing us hustling, working hard, going to school, doing all these things, trying to be better. And so they're encouraging that way. But they're also, I've seen some actual physical, protection, not physical, but I mean, just, we see you, we support you. More of that, seeing more of that. And I would say too, is that don't buy into all of the stereotypes. Get to know who we are and understand who we are. Also, there's a segment of Black men who also support what I do. So I want to give them the shout out as well. They do understand what we go through, and they are in support. One of which is you might want to get him on here, is Ralph Richard Banks is Marriage for White People. His book came out before mine, and he has a clinical breakdown of what Black women go through in terms of relationships in this community. And he is a Black man married to a Black woman with 2 Black sons who is in support. So just continue to do more of that. We want more of that.
Yeah, so just more open conversations about it.
Conversations, more understanding, more empathy.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I'm not sure if well, let's just put the question out there. So say you start to date someone, or before you even start, are there qualities that you think that are important that women should look for instead of just red flags and what to avoid? Let's not talk anymore about red flags because sometimes we know that how manipulative people
Mhm.
are. But what are some green flags or things that show that this person might be a good partner? Or even just someone good to know.
Consistency in the way in which they present. Somebody who has integrity, somebody who does the doesn't does the hard stuff, even though it's hard, they do it anyway. Um, Doing the unpleasant stuff because it's the right thing to do. Um, I would say being consistent, making sure that your actions match your words. That's a big thing for me. So you can tell me something, but if your actions don't match what you say, then and there's an inconsistency, that's it. That's a problem. I mean, I could go on and on, but green flags are that you seek understanding. That and especially when it comes to the relationships that I've had, is that the thing that really is a green flag to me is the seeking of understanding, to really ask the questions and try to understand my perspective. And from a cultural standpoint, that's very meaningful to me. But I would say that your character, your consistency in your character, the way you treat other people, and the way when you think nobody is looking. Somebody says
Yeah,
nobody is.
I know,
That's a
I
little.
saw that too.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's mainly the integrity. It's an openness and curiosity. It is a consistency. You are consistent with your word and your deed. Those are all green flags that women in general should be looking for in men.
I just thought of something that's a little strange, but I want to get your opinion on it. What do you think when certain men of a different race say, I really like black women? I want to date a black woman.
That's a good one. So there are a lot. They're always on my channel, and they're often shamed for it. Um, they're they see it as, some people accuse them of fetishizing black women because they have a preference, but is preferring a brunette over a blonde a fetish or a preference? I mean,
Hmm.
there's a thin line here. I think that when they get attacked for that, it's an insult to us, because people are saying, how could you possibly want a black woman? Well, especially a white man. You're a white man. Why would you possibly want to be with somebody like that? Um, so there is some of that. There is some of that. Unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you said before with the green flags, I think it's so important in general to get when you think about friends as well as romantic partners, someone that's curious about you, someone
Mhm.
with integrity, someone with character,
Yes,
etc.
but also somebody who's brave, who will do the right thing even when it is hard.
Yeah. And there's a lot of opportunities for that, especially these days.
Mhm.
So I think, Christelyn, what we need to do is just keep having these open conversations.
Absolutely. And
It does take a lot of courage. And thanks for coming on, because I know we met, you said you kind of moved away from this, and I'm glad you seem to be
I'm
coming
leaning
back
back.
to it.
Yes, I'm leaning right.
Yeah, it's so important because who else is going to talk about it?
Well, here I am, and
Yeah.
hopefully other people.
Yeah. And I know that someone, I don't know if she's still in the thing, she's a financial person and she wants to have you on her podcast. And I know she's doing a divorce summit that she's arranging for next year. So even if it's not necessarily divorce, I think the racial issue is important as well. It's fascinating.
Sure. I'd be happy to talk about. You know what? The more outside communities understand what Black women, not only just what we've gone through, but where we're trying to go. And if you can be allies, please and thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Christelyn, how can people find you? But you want to talk a little more about the water body care.
Oh, okay. Well, watered body care, as if I don't have enough things going on. I launched my own skincare company called Watered Body Care, and it's a total body system specifically for women of deeper skin tones and mature skin, which I happen to be both. But it's also in line. It's for anybody who has a deeper skin tone or has mature skin. It's the only multi-step system specifically for this that you do once a week. If you would love, I would love it if you would take a look at it. It's wateredbodycare.com. It's the first of its kind. And I'm 50 and it's all I use.
Can't believe it.
Maybe
Wow.
got so many 5-star reviews. So I would appreciate it if you guys would take a look at that.
Great. So they can find you there, and they can find you on your regular Instagram account too.
Yes.
Which it seems like you're active.
Yes. And they can check out my YouTube channel, which I've started to sort of revive. And that is the pink pill.
I'm so glad. All right. Well, thank you so much, Christelyn. When we just will keep having these conversations.
Absolutely. And thank you, Lisa.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.